So, as we conclude our day, let's just chit chat for a couple. How do you know if love or when love truly knocks at your door? So, for one, with those who are doing personal development and self help and are in our 5D collective with our lovely 5D mystics included, come on over. So, the Woo Woo Spiritual Podcast host lady is ready to share love for the end of this day. It is a person and or people who are their authentic self. Their mood doesn't taint the room. They can talk with all their emotions in the forefront and their thoughts. They don't consider emotions unpleasant. They consider emotions emotions. And they have a window of welcome to them. And that's where they're self aware, accountable, and regulating. And so while some of those out there say that secure attachment is boring, not for the ones who are working to achieve it or who are it. And so love knocks at your door because one, you have the oxytocin gene hormone on, so you know how to love yourself, first of all. It's why no woman or man or they will settle for something less. And we don't even use those words really because we appreciate all people that say, knock, knock, I want to share some love. And when it comes to men or women or theys, but as a solo polyamory woman who is interested in men, let me share from my subjective experiences. I have, I'm going to think, there's no person that I will say has made me feel ashamed of being Maria. That's what self-love means. It means that I can hold myself as a conscious lover to did I treat people the way I wanted to treat them? Did I do my best to make sure that they know that I appreciate, love them, and if there's differences that I accept you, but if it's differences to the extent where we're not going to be compatible, that I tell you, yeah. Okay, so pure consciousness means you being able to be unconditionally loving with who you are and then with others, which, by the way, a securely attached person will know all about. So there's not a challenge in saying forgiving is easy. Also, you don't do I forgave you, so now you owe me something. Love that knocks at your door is a person who actually tells you, one, I feel, for example, let's use this one. You're the one I want you to spend the rest of my life with. Okay, if you're a serious person, you accept, right? If you want that, obviously. If you're a serious person and you feel differently, you will completely have I'm going to say, conversation with a human being if you're a securely attached human being. If you are not able to be there yet, that means you have no emotional mastery yet or mental mastery. That means you don't know how to be a person who can say, this is who I am, and I'm not going to ask for your thumbs up or thumbs down. So I'll use an example and not the one. So for the one, I actually have had the experiences of being rejected, if you will, and it was not in a way that I can say was, how can I put it down? Because it happened a couple times. In one of the ways, I actually was happy of the way it went down. And the other way, I was shocked of how it went down. And so that's all I can say. And as for the emotions that came up, they are all processed. And so I can thank every person that has been in my life. See, the reason it's not post-traumatic is because sadness is about connection. And for those of us who don't consider it an unpleasant emotion to be in sadness, you're not going to say, I went through trauma. Now, others who are technical, who want to go and what I find usually happens is people who are not comfortable with emotions think that this is a person choosing to taint a picture versus actually them respecting that some of us have what is called a comfortableness with emotions. That's all I'm going to say. And so to me, I'm stating how I feel and think. The fact that you're going to say you're a liar and want to choose the words that I need to use, I'm used to that, by the way, as a person who hears Cusco's all day long. Okay, so that's what a piece of differentiated self-consciousness, solo self, narrative self, reflective, relational self, and core self. The name is Maria. Okay, with that, the body is mine too. I have interoception. I can't prove to you what I'm feeling. I can tell you I don't use my temporal junction because I don't ruminate. Again, all things that I'm sharing with you all here, but that I don't even think about when I'm presented with this. You can't feel that way because I'm just used to that. So it's more of, okay, sure. I'm not going to actually have anything to say to you about that. Oh, and here's the other reason, because my immediate herd is the immediate herd who taught me how when they don't want to accept that you want to express something the way you want to express it. And so it just gets boring to have to say, I want to express it differently than the way you're telling me that I have to express it. Can anybody know the 3-year-old in the room? Please, please. Because I know I'm a 3-year-old, but I'm just saying that's my point. So when you don't disconnect from differentiation of your own self, you just get used to people wanting to talk over you or tell you how to express yourself. You just choose to see how to play with that. Okay, back to the stories. And there was one about when it's about people showing up and saying that they are here forever. Yeah, sure you are. First, let me see you walk, and then I'll watch if your talk and walk go together. And so here's where, with me, I've grown more loving in time, but I've also noticed that there's a lot of people who don't have a good relationship with their emotional plane. And the attachment trauma information people have made me aware of that. So secure attachment means people can say to you, I understand that we have had a difference of meeting of the minds. And that's the one thing that an empowered woman, when I have had men who have been interested in me and I'm not interested in them. And so this has happened in a number of situations where they are friends and throughout the years. And because I live my lifestyle very freely, and I also, with my oversoul, I have my twin flames and my soulmates. And so this is where these people that come in or have come in, they are people that I've known for a long time. And then they say, but we have a rapport and we're hitting it off. And I say, I'm not interested in you that way. And this is that part of where rejection is something that no person, man or woman, or they wants to share. But here's where what I can tell you is when it's happened to me, I didn't take offense. I didn't twist it and say, I'm going to get back at you or get angry at a person. I didn't. Again, when we see men or women, and right now we're seeing a lot in the spotlight of exes that follow exes, it's something that the anthropologist lady who talks to us about love and what happens to your brain, and that once you're rejected, it's going to take some time for you to, get that oxytocin gene stuff, hormone, the love, to take it back a notch. Also, that there's a part of the brain that is activated, the one that gets addicted to drugs. And so there's a cerebral component. Here's where, as the owner of my brain, I can tell you that the part about being addicted, no. But that's the part of why the 5D mystic community doesn't have the saga or drama with the twin flame or flames or soulmates. Okay, so the people who do, they're not the owners of their left and right. So they will actually get into this pattern of rumination. I've met them. I try to tell them what to do. They don't want to do it. They say, no, got laundry in my body and I'm being controlled. So you leave alone those who don't put their best foot forward to be their empowered brain. And that's how I'm going to leave you with that one. And long story short, when I have told people no, I have tried to do it in a way of not sounding that I'm rejecting you because I don't like you in this way of your person. I like you as a person. You're just not my cup of tea. And so when it's happened to me again, I didn't feel that it's making me inadequate. I didn't get angry at the people. I didn't get, oh no, I don't believe in love anymore. This is why moving beyond the concept of loving one person and moving beyond the concept of the one was not something, again, traumatic to a person who is the owner of the body of mind and the brain. So not all people are here, but what this is me sharing with you, when you have the left and the right, so you can contain emotions that come up. They don't overwhelm your nervous system. They don't overwhelm you. Now people say, well, you have panic attacks. Yes, and we can put that to the side because those have everything to do with One, light body expansion. For the mystics, you will know of them. I remember every single one of my light body expansions, my rainbow body expansion, and then I had another couple of expansions. I remember my Kundalini awakening, and I know exactly when those happened, when my clairs activated, and I did not ever get destabilized because I didn't have any clinical dissociation. I had none of it. None of what I see, the pseudo live, which I now know why we have a 4D collective, by the way, and they're all spiritual bypassers. None of them are getting home to their 0 1 year old. None of them are getting home to true love. So we're going to leave that one to the side for a minute and conclude with love that knocks at your door is a person. It doesn't have to be a twin flame. It doesn't have to be a soulmate. It will be a person independently from these words who knows how to bring their heart and their mouth, and not just one day and not just 3 months and not just 1 year and not just 4 years. No, this is the part of what I did realize about all these people who don't know how to be their authentic self, is what I'm saying. Not in my personal life. I'm saying just as a 44-year-old woman since my starting to date years, okay? And actually, on that note, I think I want to share a story. I think I'll share it in another one, though. So I'm going to leave us with this, which is when I've gotten personally rejected, and I'm going to say any empowered human being, man, woman, or they will know what I'm about to share with you. It didn't break my heart in whipping. Oh my God, I'm inadequate. That intuitively there are aspects from my oversoul and with people that I will have voiced and that I do know got understood, as if I was saying that I felt less than. My choice of words was for other reasons. But that's also where I learned as a teenager what people do with confidence. They call us snooty, evil bitches. And now that I'm a mystic, I'm also snooty, evil bitch, which, So I learned easily what confidence makes people think of. And the reality is, if you're already rejecting me in the first place, or if I'm rejecting you, obviously, I'm going to be able to let it go because I don't have time for people who don't want to bring love into the room because we have 24 hours. There's no need for grudges. And anyone who's emotionally or mentally mature is going to know that. In fact, no person who actually knows love will ever say, use that revenge fuel to fire you. Or, you know what? Karma's going to get them. We all speak words, but what I'm saying is there are people who actually wait and watch for other people to crash and burn. And that's something that no person who is true spirituality will look to. We can have feelings, yes. They get processed. They don't stay in a certain way. People who want to keep bringing up past events as if they're fixed in stone, they have a different way of thinking about that. That's why, so for example, I have one of my closest friends, he has said to me, I think you're a hypocrite because you say this and that are true, which is actually part of the Enlightenment Soul Age group. And that's because for us, thoughts and feelings, they are like clouds. So I'm feeling and talking, and that's where you will notice this. If you consistently become more of your own self, which is a verb, thank you, Dr. Daniel Siegel, and that's because consciousness and change, my recent course, go hand in hand. The difference, though, for those of us who are consistently I am presence, is we don't feel changed. We will feel expanded. The words that came into my brain as I got into the Enlightenment Soul Age group, and it was after my rainbow body, I think it was by the time I got to my first or second bigger expansion, it was, I'm finally back to myself again. This feels good. So I felt in my own skin. It was something so amazing because it was like a little puzzle piece that finally got all locked in and is now fully open. Oh, and this was after. No, was it after or before? I don't remember anymore, actually, because I have two of my lovely soulmates. They brought me some amazing gifts, and one of them brought me a piece, a rainbow heart, is how I'm going to describe it to you. And I'll never forget how in about 2 years' time, I got to find out about a bunch of our lives and how they mix and mold and match and all this great stuff. And I remember when that gift was brought to me, it's in the realm of our lovely woo-woo stuff, okay? But just saying, a feminine, we will not have any questions about what's happening. An actual feminine knows. We don't know. What is it? This rabbi says that the feminine is to nurture, right? That we nurture, and that it's painful to start something new. No, we nurture love, and we let love in, and then we notice if it's actual love. If you stick around, that's great, and if you don't and you know how to talk about it, it's still going to be love, because we can recalibrate our relationship. And in fact, that's exactly where, for all of my moments when I've said no, those people are friends. And for the ones who were acquaintances who just wanted to date, I said no because I'm not interested. And they didn't do anything negative. There are and have been men who I've said no to because they're in monoamory relationships, but also because I'm not interested. And in the meantime, they're married. So, the part about being able to have a wiggle room dance, that's where nobody's perfect. So I'm not going to say that it always went exactly as those parameters of our society will have said it should go, but trying to speak to people is something that's more important for functional adults than what society might think. The ones who call polyamory, by the way, unfaithful, so they don't know that polyamory is consensual non-monogamy. Also, people who think you can only love one person, those are people who they have a specific way of thinking. That's fair and square. But that's why our societal culture is, one, going through transformation. And IHP is about people knowing that nobody is a demon, nobody needs to be romanticized. So woo-woo spiritual people are not in any way, shape, or form less than woo-woo sciences people or sciences or spirituality. Okay, so we use words very softly here at IHP. Your host does, and that's because nothing is being set in stone. Food for thought and expansion of consciousness. We go with the flow, and that's because we use the left and the right, and that's what integration of the brain is. So my supporting you to be yourself is my supporting you to become your solo self, your core self, your narrative, relational self, with love in the forefront. And so you'll know when it knocks at the door, because you don't need to keep it with a little string. And you also don't judge people. So we don't go around judging whether someone's faithful or unfaithful. We're not from the medieval times. So what I mean by that is that we can be understanding, and then we can continue conversing. And then we can also converse with the people who want to create judgment and say, that's your opinion. You want to judge. I don't judge. We can exchange those food for thought experiences. Partner material, love, it knocks on your door when people enjoy each other and they stick around. Why? Because they know that emotions and the depths of them, they want to share it with you. And they know that they don't want to go alone and that they don't have to. And that's where it's not about making promises necessarily anywhere. Because when I was a teenager and the whole till death do us part, sickness and in health, yes, I met people who consistently didn't know how to speak to your face the actuality of what happened. And that's where I'm going to save the stories for what's next. So tune on back in later if you'd like. In the meantime, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Like, share, and subscribe if you'd like. And if you know anybody who wants to be a part of our 5D collective, so they want free, open, and love fun human beings who get to continue to expand all types of conversations with all of the lovely sciences and spirituality, but we don't say one is better than the other. No, they go hand in hand. None disprove, improve. If you want to do the proving stuff, you're in academia doing research. If you're coming here, we're socializing. Socializing as emotional and mental grown-ups means we talk, and we like to talk. Oh, and we don't cast stones. So there are ways that we welcome all people, and that is by being aware. And we'll get into that again in other stories. In the meantime, again, thanks for stopping by.